How you doing? Dr. James Petrick with Mental Health Matters and Prior Lake Spinal Care. A couple of months ago, you joined my email list. Little did you know that you joined my email list. You had signed up for information on mental health. Perhaps you were able to attend one of our online webinars. Maybe you were able to attend in class. Yet, for whatever reason, you just weren't quite ready to take action. And I completely understand that. I like to take this time to make important decisions, talk to my wife about important healthcare decisions, and I completely get that. Today I want to address something that's not necessarily related to the spine or even necessarily mental health or emotional health, but then again, it really is. It's something that sort of transcends the physical, the mental, emotional, and the social aspects of our health. And I'm talking about something that might seem kind of weird on the surface, and that's our spiritual well-being. Now, when it comes to spiritual matters, everybody realizes that it does have some role to play in our health, but perhaps at the chiropractor's office, that's not the context to talk about things. You know, I was just making a referral to a massage therapist down the road, and I was on her website, and there's all this information on, you know, the Buddha and the Tao and different things, and those things are spiritual. And, you know, I'm not sure, I'm pretty neutral on whether those things belong in a healthcare office or not. I don't want to have them in my office because that's not part of my belief system. And that's okay, and I'm not trying to impose any of my beliefs on you. But I would say that most people that come here are of what I would call the professing Christian faith and believe that the Bible is a source of authority for spiritual matters. And because of that, and because of my desire to do the most good for most people most of the time, I want to share a short little story with you. I've been going to church regularly all my life. I didn't really see my life as having a relationship with God until about halfway through my life. So when I was 21, 22, and I was in chiropractic college, actually, it's when I started to go to church because I really wanted to learn. It wasn't a burdensome thing for me. It's something that I wanted to know more about God through the Bible. And through the years, I've heard people say all the time that the book of James in the New Testament is the wisdom book of the New Testament. And I get to thinking about that, and I'm kind of biased because that's my name, James. I grew up being called Jim. But because of these truths that I'm sharing with you right now, I decided to embrace James because, hey, that's what it says on my birth certificate. And I happen to believe that not only is the book of James the wisest words written in the last 2,000 years or of the New Testament, even when you compare it to the Old Testament Proverbs and Psalms and Ecclesiastes and things, I gotta say that James is the wisest words written in history, because James walked with Jesus and we live in a New Testament era. So as such, using the book of James as kind of a key or a master key for opening up wisdom to the New Testament, I also see it as an application to, okay, there's principles, there's things that I know that I should do for my health, there's things that I know I should do as a good family man, as a dad, as a husband, but obviously I don't do as good of a job as I should at implementing them all the time. And that's where I think the book of James comes in, is very, very handy. It says, be a doer of the word, not just a mere hearer. If you are just a hearer of the word, it's like you look at your face in the mirror, you notice some dirt on your face, but then you go away and you immediately forget what you look like. So James would say, have a mirror, have a system of checkoffs, a checklist, to make sure you're aware of your blind spots in the spiritual health sense, because get this now, the first paragraph, the first 8 verses in the book of James cover themes ranging from identity, or connecting to God, yourself, and others. So there you have social health, emotional health, and mental health. And it's all wrapped into our identity. And then verses 2 through 5 talk about how to have joy in trials, how to be resilient and overcome adversity. Because when we know that our faith is tested, it builds up our patience and our perseverance, and they're for the purpose of making sure that we are moving towards maturation and completion or perfection. The fact is, without trials, we don't grow. Human beings are really strange. If we don't have trials, or if we don't think we have a trial, sometimes we'll create drama in our lives in order to have a trial, in order to make us feel inspired once again and get back on course. It's kind of a crazy thing about us human beings. I don't know why that is, but it's another reason for me to, be fascinated with that first paragraph, and that's why I call it the solids. There's 8 verses, and I call it the solids because, again, the identity, it talks about the importance of emotional balance and mental balance, to be able to see, to have joy even in the midst of trials. And then verses 5 through 8, if that wasn't enough in that first paragraph, I think the wisest paragraph ever written in history, again, I know I'm biased because my name is James, but verses 5 through 8 say how to ask God for wisdom. Okay, so that whole entire first paragraph, and I don't mean to preach, I'm just quoting it, and you can put your name, the dog barks in the background, you can put your name in that first word and be a supplanter, because James is from Jacobus from the Old Testament, who supplanted his brother for his dad's blessing, and King James supplanted Jacob, Jesus' brother, and put his own name in there. Okay, I think that's the only real tweak on the New Testament, the New King James Version. So feel free to put your own name. Okay, so here we go. James, a bondservant of God and of the Lord Jesus Christ, to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. Greetings. Consider it pure joy whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith develops perseverance or patience. Let patience finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, lacking nothing. If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who generously gives to all without finding fault. But when he asks, he must believe and not doubt, because the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea blown and tossed by the wind. That man shouldn't expect, or woman, shouldn't expect to receive anything from the Lord. He's a double-minded man, unstable in all he does. So I've got these ebooks, and it's on a website that is called jamesbyjames.com. And there's 3 ebooks. They're total out 76 pages. It's only $14 for all 3 of the ebooks. And the themes are the identity dilemma, joy in trials, and algorithm. And I think that no matter what, maybe if you're an educator or a mental health care professional, or if you yourself, you have a loved one, or maybe you yourself struggles with mental health, and that's why you signed up in the first place, I am absolutely confident that this is going to move you at least a couple of notches onward and upward. Dr. James Petrick with Prior Lake Spinal Care and Mental Health Matters. Thank you.